My beloved child, set everything down for a moment and listen to me calmly. Because the pain of rejection you carry is not proof that you are not good enough, nor is it a sentence upon your future. I know that some words were spoken within only a few seconds, yet remained in your heart for many years. A rejection, a closed door, a cold look, or the silence of someone you once trusted made you feel as though your entire worth had been denied. You tried to appear normal, continued fulfilling your responsibilities, and smiled before others. But when you returned to the quiet room, the question arose again. Was I never good enough? Today, I want you to stop using the way others treated you to define who you are. One person's failure to recognize your value does not mean that value does not exist. One place refusing to open its door has no right to declare that no road remains for you. You do not need to write a number or perform a ritual on a screen to prove that you deserve love. No comment can purchase protection, and no gesture can determine whether goodness will come to you. What I desire from you is a deeper response. Stop abandoning yourself merely because someone else did not choose you. Let your declaration be written through the way you live from this day forward. Stop begging for recognition in places that offer only fragments. Stop trying to explain your worth to someone who has decided not to see it. Stop exchanging dignity for a seat at a table where you have always been made to feel unnecessary. This is the true sign that you are ready to leave the former cycle. I saw the nights when you awakened with heaviness in your chest, wondering whether you had done something wrong that caused everything to remain delayed. You watched others receive opportunities, hear their names called, and gain recognition, while you seemed to be sitting inside a waiting room without a clock. You tried to be happy for them. Yet, you also hurt because you did not know when your own life would begin moving. Feeling this way does not make you a bad person. Weariness does not mean that you lack faith. And one moment of envy does not erase the goodness within you. You are simply someone who has waited for too long while carrying too many questions. But remember that moving more slowly than others does not mean you are failing. Every journey has its own rhythm, and the fact that your name was not called in one room does not mean it has been erased from every door ahead. Some rejections are genuine losses, and I do not want you to cover them with beautiful words and pretend that you did not hurt. When you offered sincerity and received only silence, it hurt. When you worked wholeheartedly and were overlooked, it hurt. When someone you loved turned away, their absence left an emptiness that could not be filled by a few comforting sentences. You are allowed to grieve, acknowledge disappointment, and need time to recover. But do not turn sorrow into your identity. You experienced rejection in one situation, but you were not born to be rejected. You lost an opportunity, but you are not someone without a future. One person left you behind, but that does not mean every love will end in the same way. I know that what you longed for was sometimes very simple: a nod acknowledging that you had done well, an embrace that did not require you to remain strong, or someone looking directly at you and saying that your presence mattered. When these small things did not come, you began doing more, giving more, and reducing your own needs to make yourself easier to accept. You believed that if you were useful enough, agreeable enough, or sacrificial enough, people would finally choose you. But healthy love does not require you to become exhausted in order to prove that you deserve to remain. Those who truly value you will not come only when they need support and disappear when you are weak. They will know how to listen, accept responsibility, and return the care you have offered them. Learn to recognize the difference between someone who loves you and someone who loves only what you do for them. Financial anxiety has also made rejection feel heavier when expenses continue appearing. Work remains unstable, and you do not know how you will pass through the coming month. One closed door can make you feel as though the entire world is against you. But do not allow panic to push you into decisions that will damage your future. Look honestly at the numbers. Arrange your priorities. Seek trustworthy guidance. And take each small step within your ability. There is no shame in asking for assistance, renegotiating a payment, or admitting that your way of managing money needs to change. Peace does not come from pretending that difficulty does not exist, but from knowing that you are confronting it honestly. One small and orderly step is stronger than hundreds of great promises spoken in panic. The wound from former betrayal has not completely disappeared either. There are days when you believe you have recovered, and then a voice, a fragrance, or the way someone becomes silent suddenly brings every memory back. You blame yourself for still hurting after so many years. But healing does not always follow a straight line. What once shattered trust needs time to be restored to its proper place. You do not need to force yourself to trust immediately in order to prove that you have forgiven. Give new people the opportunity to demonstrate themselves through action. But do not force them to pay for the mistakes of those from your past. At the same time, do not ignore warning signs because you fear being seen as difficult. A tender heart can exist together with clear eyes. You have the right to move slowly. Ask direct questions and preserve boundaries until consistency creates safety. I also see the concerns about health weighing upon you. A diagnosis, unexplained pain, or persistent symptoms can cause your mind to rush toward frightening conclusions. Do not consider seeking medical care a lack of faith. Continue asking physicians questions. Seek an appropriate second opinion when needed. And care for your body through practical things such as rest, nourishment, and a balanced rhythm of life. If anxiety is causing sleeplessness or making normal daily functioning difficult, seek support from a qualified professional. You do not need to suffer silently in order to prove your strength. Wisdom knows when to pray, when to rest, and when to receive help from capable hands. My beloved, your prayers are not stopped by the ceiling, and your imperfections do not make you unusable for something good. I do not wait until you are perfect before standing beside you. I am present during the days when you are strong and when you are filled with doubt. During mornings when you are hopeful, and nights when you possess only enough strength to whisper a few words. But this presence does not mean that every desire will be fulfilled in the exact form you choose. Some answers arrive through an opening door, while others come through the strength to walk away from one that has closed. Some things are restored, while others must be released so that your hands are empty enough to receive a healthier beginning. Therefore, from today forward, look at rejection through different eyes. Do not immediately call every closed door divine protection, because sometimes you must also examine your skills, choices, and what you can improve. But once you have learned the necessary lesson, stop using failure to torment yourself. Accepting responsibility is different from condemning yourself. You can admit that you were not adequately prepared while still believing that you can grow. You can look back upon a relationship, recognize your mistakes, and still refuse to conclude that you are unworthy of love. Let every rejection become information rather than a sentence. Guidance rather than a chain that binds you to the past. I want you to rise from the waiting room within your heart. You do not need to continue staring at the old door to see whether someone will return and call your name. Care for what is before you. Rebuild your daily rhythm. Learn what must be learned. And seek communities that offer respect and warmth without requiring you to lose yourself. One day, you will understand that some places did not choose you because they were not wide enough for the person you were becoming. My child, you have not been forgotten. You are learning to stop seeking worth in the constantly changing eyes of the world. Move forward humbly without bowing your head in shame. With an open heart that still preserves boundaries. What was rejected was not the whole of who you are. And one painful chapter has no right to determine the ending of your story. My beloved child, the uneasiness within your heart does not necessarily invite you to return and seek another explanation. It may be an awakening that helps you recognize what is genuine and what has repeatedly been concealed beneath beautiful words. There is someone you do not need to name. Yet whenever you think about them, old pain, unanswered questions, and all the times you were made to doubt yourself rise again. I know that you want to contact them, hear their explanation, and find one sentence convincing enough to close the confusion. You still hope that if you listen one more time, everything may become clear. The person may finally be honest, or perhaps you misunderstood. But, my child, sometimes clarity is not found in a confession. It is found in repeated patterns, in the distance between promises and actions, and in the uneasiness that returns each time you offer another chance, only to receive the same pain in another form. Therefore, do not act hastily merely to soothe temporary restlessness. Let your emotions settle before making any decision. Not every impulse must be followed, and not every question needs to be answered by the person who created the confusion. Some people know how to pull you back into the old cycle through a timely apology, a story that awakens compassion, or a promise spoken when they sense that you are about to leave. They may not fully understand the degree of harm they cause. But that does not mean you must keep opening the door to the same treatment. I am not telling you to accuse or nurture resentment. I am asking you to look at the entire journey rather than being carried away by one emotional moment. Truth usually reveals itself through consistency. While performance shines briefly and then fades, you were a light during days when this person was surrounded by chaos. You listened, forgave, remained patient, and repeatedly attempted to understand what even they refused to face. You saw goodness within them and believed that your love could help them change. But love cannot perform the work of someone unwilling to accept responsibility. Your gentleness cannot heal a person who continues protecting habits that wound others. You can support, but you cannot walk in their place. You can open a road, but you cannot force someone to leave darkness while they continue benefiting from it. Stopping your attempts to rescue them is not betrayal. It is an acknowledgement that kindness also needs order. And closeness cannot be sustained when one person continually sacrifices while the other repeats the same pattern. I know how many times you dimmed your light so that this person would not feel threatened. You reduced your needs, made your dreams smaller, and remained silent about things that needed to be spoken. You tried to become easier, less demanding, and less sensitive so that the relationship would not fall apart. But each time you did this, you moved one step farther from yourself. A healthy connection does not require you to become smaller so that another person can feel comfortable. It does not make you continually explain why you deserve respect. It does not force you to choose between love and peace. If someone can remain beside you only when you are not living truthfully, then their presence is not a place where you should continue begging for belonging. What is being reversed first is not the external situation, but the way you understand your own worth. You once called their departure a loss, but gradually you will see that it may have been the space you needed in order to recover. You believed that what they took left a part of you that could never be restored. But I am helping you reclaim your voice, confidence, and ability to trust your healthy perceptions. The lies that caused you to question your dignity will gradually lose their power as you stop repeating them as truth. Restoration does not always mean receiving the exact thing that was lost. Sometimes it means no longer wanting to return for what continually depleted you. Sometimes the greatest gift is not an old person coming back, but the fact that they no longer define you. A new connection will eventually come in a way that does not force you to interpret every word, leave you awake wondering where you stand, or use silence as a means of control. But do not rush to find someone else merely to fill the emptiness. Let this season teach you how to recognize peace before entering another connection. The right person will not be perfect, but they will be capable of honesty. Accept responsibility when wrong, and not regard your boundaries as an insult. You will not need to abandon your intuition in order to trust them. Their actions will gradually help you feel safe, rather than demanding that you continually persuade yourself that you are safe. Allow time to test everything, because a healed heart no longer chases intensity, it looks for consistency, respect, and the ability to grow together. Doors involving work and resources may also begin to open when you stop pouring so much energy into a relationship that exhausts you. You did not realize how much strength was consumed by analyzing, waiting, forgiving, and then becoming disappointed again. When that strength returns to you, your thinking will become clearer. You will see opportunities you previously overlooked, and you will possess enough courage to make new choices. But remember that this opening is not a reward for leaving someone. It is the natural result of no longer allowing chaos to occupy every part of your inner life. When your mind becomes quiet, you manage more effectively. When fear decreases, you choose more wisely. When you stop trying to prove your worth to one person, you can place your abilities where they are genuinely valued. The deep peace you desire will not come from the other person finally admitting everything. They may never explain matters in the way you hope. They may preserve their own version of events, continue believing themselves innocent, or still attempt to make you doubt your own memory. But you do not require their agreement in order to acknowledge what you experienced, nor do you need to win an argument before you are allowed to leave. Peace begins when you stop handing the key to closure to someone who has repeatedly kept you confused. You can tell yourself that what happened was enough to teach you the lesson. That pain revealed what promises could not hide, and that you do not need to enter one more cycle in order to know how it will end. Release them, but do not release them in bitterness. Do not turn the truth you have recognized into a reason to retaliate, shame them publicly, or desire that they suffer as you suffered. You release them because you want freedom, not because you want to reverse the roles and become the one who causes harm. Put down the need to force them to understand you. apologize properly, or recognize what they have lost. Some people realize the value of goodness only after it is no longer beside them. But that is no longer your responsibility. Your part is to preserve a clean heart, receive the lesson, and refuse to return because of one lonely moment. Forgiveness can take place within you without restoring access. You can desire their healing while maintaining enough distance to remain safe. Clenched hands do not hold only the former person. They also hold the fear that you will never find something better. Open your hands. My child, do not deny that you once loved, but acknowledge that love cannot continue through self-abandonment. Allow what does not belong to the new season to leave. Let your tears fall if they need to fall. Allow the empty space to remain for a while without rushing to fill it. Within that space, you will hear your own voice again. Remember dreams you postponed, and recognize that peace is not as empty as you feared. It is the soil in which a new life begins to take root. I am not calling you to walk away because you lack love, but because the love within you deserves to be placed where responsibility exists. I am not telling you to close your heart, but to open it more wisely. The truth has come not to frighten you, but to release you from what you have tried to explain for far too long. Receive what has been revealed through actions, results, and repeated patterns. Put down the lies and stop carrying responsibility for repairing someone who refuses to enter their own truth. You do not lose your future by releasing the past. You are returning space to healthy love, new opportunities, and peace deep enough that you no longer have to shrink whenever your heart longs to be seen. Release your grip. My beloved, what truly belongs to you will not require continual pain in order to prove that it is love. Hear me clearly. What has been concealed around your identity, reputation, and story is entering a time when it must be brought into the light. But you must not allow fear or anger to lead you into premature conclusions. I, Michael, do not come to plant suspicion toward everyone, nor do I want you to live as though every gaze is secretly directed against you. I come to remind you to stand firmly before what lacks transparency. Protect your name wisely, and stop making yourself smaller merely because someone once left you confused. At this moment, imagine angels surrounding you like a shield of light, not to send you into an uncontrolled pursuit or confrontation, but to protect your mind from chaos. What you need most is not panic, but the calmness that helps you distinguish truth from speculation, evidence that requires examination from noise arising out of old wounds. Perhaps you have sensed that someone is attempting to take on qualities associated with you. From your way of presenting ideas and speaking to stories that formed your depth. Outwardly, they may appear to admire your resilience, but immature admiration can sometimes become imitation, competition, or a desire to occupy a position that does not belong to them. Yet do not allow this to make you bitter. Another person can copy a style, repeat certain expressions, or retell things they once heard. But they cannot carry the journey that formed you. They cannot copy the nights when you rose through tears, the times you remained kind while misunderstood, or the wisdom created through repeated failure. Genuine identity does not lie in outward clothing. It is recognized through consistency, character, and the fruit formed through time. Therefore, you do not need to chase anyone to prove who is original. Continue living with integrity, because what is false may impress for a season, but it cannot carry the enduring weight of sincerity. I know there are moments when you want to remain silent because you are tired of explaining, but wise stillness is different from allowing someone to use your name freely, distort your words, or misrepresent you in serious matters. This is not the time to explode, but neither is it the time to surrender your right to protect truth. If there are documents, letters, declarations, or records bearing your name that you do not recognize, examine them calmly. Do not accuse based only upon intuition. Find copies, compare dates, verify signatures, and preserve all relevant evidence. When the issue is legal, seek someone qualified. Present clearly what you know, and distinguish what has been proven from what you only suspect. Wisdom does not weaken faith. On the contrary, wisdom protects you from reactions that could later be used against you. If someone has retold your story in a distorted manner, rearranged events to create an inaccurate image, or deliberately removed important details, remember that truth is not best protected by the loudest voice. It is protected through consistency, accurate records, and statements that do not contradict themselves. Do not allow outrage to make you claim more than you can prove. One unsupported assertion can weaken the completely truthful parts of your position. Write down the sequence of events while your memory remains clear. Preserve messages, correspondence, and the names of those who can confirm what happened. Then allow the responsible authorities to evaluate the matter. I do not want you to enter any hearing or courtroom with a mind clouded by anger. Enter prepared, with dignity and trust that truth does not require drama in order to carry weight. You may fear that someone has met with a person in authority, used another name, or discussed ways to deprive you of your rights. But I repeat, do not turn what has not been verified into a certain verdict within your heart. If the matter is real, evidence must be sought through the proper channels. If it is only an interpretation arising from stress, careful examination will release you from unnecessary fear. In either case, calmness remains your strength. You are not forced to choose between faith and reality. You can pray, preserve clarity, and at the same time, take reasonable steps to protect yourself. I do not call you to use spiritual language in place of legal advice, nor do I want fear to drive you into confrontation before you fully understand what is happening. Remain still, but do not turn stillness into resignation. If you need to speak, use brief, accurate, and respectful words. If a written response is required, read it again after your emotions have settled. If you need representation, choose someone competent and ethical, not someone who merely excites you with unrealistic promises. If a meeting makes you feel pressured, ask for time to review matters rather than agreeing immediately. Do not sign what you do not understand. Do not allow time pressure to make you surrender your right to examine. Do not share private information with anyone whose identity or role has not been verified. These principles are not expressions of fear. They are the protective boundaries maturity builds around what is precious. You also do not need to answer every act of imitation through a public battle. Some situations are best addressed through boundaries. Protecting your work, recording dates of creation, or using official channels when necessary. Do not turn your entire life into the pursuit of those who may be copying you. When you spend too much energy observing who is imitating you, you may unintentionally stop developing what only you can create. Continue writing, building, learning, and allowing your voice to mature. Someone who can only copy must keep chasing what you created yesterday, while you remain free to enter what is new tomorrow. Original creativity does not need to stop and argue with its shadow. I am calling you to rise like a flame. But that flame must remain within the furnace of self-control. It does not burn everyone around you. It illuminates, warms, and exposes what is false. Your authority does not lie in threats or frightening declarations. It lies in refusing to allow the words of others to steal clarity, refusing to collapse because of an unverified document, and refusing to let betrayal turn you into someone who acts without wisdom. You have the right to ask, verify, receive advice, and refuse what is not transparent. Exercise those rights in peace. If you wish to say, Amen, let it be agreement with truth, courage, and wisdom rather than a formula for obtaining protection through a number. Heaven does not sell protection through comments, and grace is not measured by how many times you type a word. Your genuine response is revealed when you refuse panic, false accusation, compromise, and self-abandonment. I see you more clearly than any document could describe. Yet within this world, you must still act responsibly, preserve truth, and seek appropriate help when your rights are threatened. Faith does not make you passive. It enables you to act without being consumed by fear. My child, truth does not require you to destroy yourself in order to defend it. Allow light to go before you, evidence to speak, and peace to hold your heart steady. What is wrong will be confronted through the proper path. What has been distorted will be clarified piece by piece. What exists only in speculation will be released when no evidence is found. I am beside you in all three circumstances. Do not allow your name to be used carelessly, but neither allow suspicion to consume every relationship. Be watchful without becoming paranoid, courageous without becoming aggressive, and steadfast without becoming bitter. When you preserve this posture, no false document, distorted story, or imitation can steal what matters most. The truth of who you are and the road upon which I am leading you